Here is a quick 10-minute fix for knee pain. We're going to do this with a combination of foam rolling and mobility techniques and stretches. By the end of this, you're going to be feeling a lot better in your knees. Give it a shot and see for yourself. We're going to start off with the foam roller, and we're going to target the front part of the thigh. So just this part, just above the knee toward the midsection of the thigh. So this part of the quadricep, just the front of it. And this is just a really good go-to simple foam rolling technique that's going to help with general soreness in your thighs after a workout. It's also going to help with loosening up that tissue. What we're targeting here is the rectus femoris of the quadriceps, and this muscle connects to the top of your knee. So if you're noticing some patellar discomfort, so if you notice some pain, some discomfort, some tightness near the top of the knee, this mobility technique with the foam roller here is going to loosen up the muscle that connects to the patellar tendon. So this is a good way for you. If you have knee pain, it's just a good test to see, okay, is this what's causing the knee pain? And you should notice some pretty immediate relief when you're going through this succession of techniques. So we're just going up and down on the knee. Make sure you don't go right above the kneecap, right? You don't want to go on the kneecap, so only go to the bottom of the thigh. If you need some more support for the other leg, you can keep that leg on the mat or on a pad, whatever's going to help that feel good. And then we don't need to do too much of this, but just make sure that you're going slow, right? Make sure that you're not going fast. This isn't like this isn't a ride. This isn't I don't know, something that's fast. But you do want to be going slow on it, slow and controlled, and trying to keep that right leg, or whichever leg that you're rolling, try to keep it relaxed. So you're just going slowly up and down on it. By the way, we are going through just one side in this 10-minute knee pain fix. So if you want to go through both sides, then start back at the beginning of the video and watch it again. All right, so we've got that. Now hopefully the quadriceps a little looser. From here we're going to go to your glutes. So for the glutes with the foam roller, you're going to sit on it like this. We're going to roll up and down on it, back and forth. And this is how it starts. So just this really basic technique, getting the very bottom of your glutes, the bottom of your butt, up toward the back of the hip. So this is the first way to do it. There's a few different techniques, a few different little ways to target the glutes. Just going up and down like this. And you want to try and find the spot where it gets kind of sticky, right? So where it doesn't roll over smoothly. See if you can find that. Relax a little bit onto it. Big breath in. Exhale. Yeah. And so when you find those little parts where it feels like it gets stuck, that's where you want to try and sit for a little bit. And it will be intense there. It will be, somewhat uncomfortable, but those are the spots that we want to get. So the next time we're going to target the glutes. Cross whichever leg you're rolling, cross that leg over the opposing leg. And then this is going to open up another part of the hip and allow us to target that. So it's just moving your glutes slightly out of the way so that we can target another part of the hips here. So now still rolling up and down on it. You can also roll to the side a little bit like you see me doing here, so the hip is kind of facing the ground. And that should hopefully we find some sensitive tissue there that we can, dig into a little bit. And this should be, this shouldn't be easy, right? It shouldn't feel like nothing at all, but it also shouldn't feel like a 10 out of 10 discomfort. So when you're foam rolling, probably getting up into the 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10. Try to stay away from a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 intensity. You want to feel like it's still somewhat manageable. If you want to make it a little bit more manageable, if it's really intense, try to put more weight into your hands. So less weight into the roller, a little more weight into the hands. There's also different types of rollers you can get. You can get some that are firm. You can get vibrating foam rollers. You can get softer foam rollers. I recommend starting with soft and then building up to more intense. Also, the vibrating foam rollers will save you a ton of time. So that's another recommendation. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying this routine. I just wanted to interrupt and let you know that I do have a free 10-minute series for knee strengthening here for free on the Manful YouTube channel. Check it out in the link in the description when this video is finished. All right, go ahead and relax. So we've got the quadriceps, we've got the glutes. Now we're going to do a couple stretches. We don't want to just do the SMR work, the self-myofascial release. We want to combine that with stretches and a little bit of strength to make it more long-lasting. So the stretches we're going to do are a couch stretch or a lizard reach back, as I have unfortunately named this pose. And for that, I would recommend a knee pad. So whichever leg that you just did, you're going to come into a lunge with that knee resting on a pad. If you don't have a knee pad, you can use a sweatshirt, a towel, anything that's just going to provide some support there. And then if you can, you're going to roll forward onto the very bottom of the thigh, not resting on the kneecap, but on the thigh. Reach back with your hand, grab your foot, hold here. So this is one variation. To make this a little bit easier, make it more accessible, you can take your strap. You're going to wind one end of the strap through both D-rings, bring it over, put it under the other D-ring. So you've got a little loop here that you can use. And then you're going to put that around the foot like this. Go into your lunge, drape the strap over your shoulder as you go. And now we can use that strap to create that stretch. So this is just another way to do this. So as you're here, I'm going to give you a couple tips. So I want you to be active here. So it helps to, whether you're using the strap or you've got your hand, push your foot into whatever is holding it, right? So pushing the foot into the strap or pushing it into the hand. It also helps to try and take the arch out of the lower back. That's just going to keep this stretch a little more honest. We're going to get a more intense stretch through your hips as you do this. We are targeting the rectus femoris, that muscle that we rolled out with a foam roller. You're also going to get some hip flexor action here. So we've got that. Also, try to get your right glutes engaged. So squeeze whichever glutes correspond to the same side that you're stretching. Squeeze those glutes. So squeezing your glutes, helping to open up the quadriceps a little bit more, but also making this a little bit more active. Cover this in one of the other 10-minute knee pain fix videos, but you want to make sure that you are combining strength with the stretching, not just the passive stretching, but adding strength. That's going to help create more long-term improvements to your overall mobility, and not just something that lasts for one day and then goes back to the way it was. So make sure that you're adding strength, and you also want to make sure that you're doing this stuff kind of consistently, right? At least 2 or 3 times a week. All right, so I would hold this for 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. And then again, you've got some variations here. You've got the strap, or you've got the hand reach back. You might have also seen me do this in some other videos. You can reach back with the other hand and grab it. I don't care which one you use, as long as you're feeling that stretch through the quadriceps and the hip flexors. Okay, so that's one stretch. Next stretch is pigeon. So we already rolled out your glutes. Now we're going to work on the flexibility there. So to do this, you've got your traditional pigeon variation. And by the way, I like coming into this from a cross-legged position. This allows for a variety of flexibility levels to benefit from this. It also ensures that your hip is facing to the outside and not facing down. So cross-legged position, and whichever leg you're stretching, keep that leg crossed. Swing the other leg back. And you can start here in kind of this 90-90 position. Now make sure that whichever hip you're stretching, make sure that knee is outside the hip. You shouldn't have your hip and your knee in a straight line. You want that knee not here, straight line, but to the outside. And then just as your flexibility allows, maybe we can crawl that left leg, maybe we can crawl this back leg back a little bit more. And then trying to get your hips to square forward. Ideally, we can get to this point where this back leg, the top of that leg can face the ground, and we're feeling the stretch in the outer hips of whichever leg is forward. Use your hands to support yourself, to support your body weight, and try to shift your overall body weight and your center of gravity to the hips. Don't let it go forward into the hands. And unless your hips are on the ground, don't worry about laying your chest forward. I see a lot of people with their hips up in the air and they try to get the chest down. That's not really helping you. Get the weight in the hips, make sure that your hips can actually come onto the ground, and then maybe your chest can come down. So this is one variation. If this works for you, stay here. To make it a little easier, you can bring your heel closer into the groin. That's going to require a little less flexibility. You can also put a block under whichever hip you're stretching. So if you notice that your hips are really high off the ground, or you just can't get your hips, you can't get that back leg straight, then bringing a block or a pillow under that hip is a great way to modify this. This is going to help you with this stretch, even if you're not super flexible. And then another way to modify this is to find a wall. And this is probably the easiest way to do this if you don't have the flexibility for full pigeon yet. But you're going to find a wall. You're going to place your feet up against the wall so that your hips and your knees are at 90-degree angles. And then whichever hip you want to stretch, cross that ankle over the opposing thigh, making a figure four, right? There's a figure four, upside down figure four with my legs here. And then you're going to push whichever foot is on the wall, push that into the wall while externally rotating the hip that's crossed, the leg that you're stretching, and you should feel some stretching through your outer thigh and the outer hip and the glutes there. Just like the pigeon, you want to try and be active here. So if you can think about squeezing the muscles that you're stretching, that's going to add an element of strength. That's going to help with creating more functional flexibility as opposed to just passive flexibility or just getting a stretch and feeling good that day. This is going to create more lasting change. This is more of that molding of the hips that I talked about, not just one stretch and feel better for the day, but molding it, changing it so that it lasts for a longer period of time. And if you feel like you're really tight here, this is something that I would recommend doing for a few weeks, doing multiple times per week. Pigeon is something that I like to do probably at least 3 times per week. But if you're trying to really create some significant improvements, I would also recommend that you kind of stack it with this foam roller technique that we used. And if you want to target a little bit more, you can also use a lacrosse ball, and you can roll that on the glutes as well. So if you're noticing that the hips just aren't opening up as much as you'd like to or as quickly as you'd like them to in pigeon, using tools like this is a really good way to do that. Okay guys, I hope you found that video useful. Keep in mind, to make knee pain go away, you've got to keep working on the root causes. So working on your strength, your flexibility in your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your core is going to help get to the root of knee pain and cause it from happening again entirely. If you want to check out workouts for that, I do have a free 10-minute knee strengthening series here on the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. Click above my shoulder here to check out that first workout.